Good day everyone, this is Teacher Day presenting you Daylight English Hustle, your partner in the wonders of English wherever and wherever you are. To be updated with the next video lessons, do not forget to click subscribe and hit the notification bell. To start our topic for today, I'd like you to study and identify the pictures that will be shown on the next frames. Let's start. What can you see on this frame? Very good. It is a picture of a cat and its kittens. Next. Right. This frame shows a picture of William Shakespeare and his famous work Romeo and Juliet. In this frame, what do you see? Precisely. It has Sir Isaac Newton and his discovery of gravity. How about this one? Yes, the picture of a cloud and the picture of a rain could be seen on this frame. And for our last item, what do you think do we have? Absolutely correct. We have a representation of night and day. Considering the pictures that you saw earlier, what do you think will be our lesson for today? Today, we are going to talk about analogy. I am sure that most of you have already encountered this word. Some of you might have seen this before but do not know what it is called. When we are talking about analogy, we look for the comparison between things. When we say comparison, it refers to its similarities and relationships. Since we are dealing with comparisons, we should at least have an idea of the possible relationships a pair of words could have. Here are some of the most common kinds of relationships that we can find in analogies. Please be reminded that relationships in analogies are not limited to these. The first relationship that we have are synonyms. Synonyms are words with the same meaning. For example, pretty and beautiful, wealthy and rich. The second one is an opposite of the first one. If synonyms refer to words with the same meaning, antonyms refer to words with opposite meaning. For example, tall and short, shallow and deep. Next is sequence. Sequence refers to the order of how things are arranged or done. For example, 1 and 2, yesterday and tomorrow. Fourth is the cause and effect relationship. Cause refers to the reason while effect refers to the outcome. For example, pollution and global warming, fever and high body temperature. The fifth relationship that we have is intensity. Unlike synonyms, intensity refers to the weight of words which are not the same in meaning but has something in common. For example, giggle and laugh, walk and run. The last most common relationship that we are to discuss today is the collectives. Collective is what we call a group of a noun. For example, faculty is what you call a collection of teachers. A collection of lion is called a pride. Now that you already know some of the most common relationships that may appear in analogies, let us now identify the different kinds of analogy. The first kind of analogy is called one-word analogy or single-word analogy. In this kind of analogy, only one blank could be seen from the pair of words. This blank can be put anywhere in the item. Let's try answering this one. Since you only have a letter given in A apple, your answer on the blank for blank honest should also be a letter. In this case, letter A is the correct answer. The second type of analogy is two-word analogy. This is like a single word analogy, however, two blanks on the same side are given. Let's take a look on this item. Since there can only be one correct answer, answers of the same kind are not accepted. Letters A and C are incorrect. For this item, the correct answer is letter B because the sound of the first letter of the given word is the relationship being highlighted and not the first letter of a fruit. Lastly, we have the mixed analogy. Mixed analogy is much more complex than two-word analogy, for it has two blanks which could be seen on both pairs but on different sides of each pair. Let us see how we could answer this kind of analogy. The first side gave you a letter to follow for the blank on the other side. Therefore, the answer for the second blank should be a letter. The blank on the first side was paired with the given fruit on the other side. Therefore, the first blank should have a fruit. For this item, the correct answer is letter C. Answering analogy may seem very easy. However, it is still best to pack some tips on how we can correctly fill these analogies with its missing word or words. The first thing that you have to remember is to not read analogies like A is to apple and blank is to honest. This is because you may forget to identify the relationships between each words and just proceed to mindlessly answering the analogy. Second, if there are more than one correct answer, you are thinking of it wrong. You may have overlooked other possible relationships for that item. Third, take note of the order of the words in the analogy before answering. Remember that even you correctly identify the relationship between the words in an analogy, you will not get a merit if you place the answer on the wrong blank. You are now ready to fly on your own. As a warm-up for your wings, I'd like you to identify the relationships presented in each frame. Correct. The relationship between a cat and its kittens is an adult-young relationship. Spot on. This frame shows a writer-work relationship. Brilliant! This is a proponent-idea relationship. How about this one? Very good. A cloud forms first before it rains. Can you answer this item correctly? Magnificent! You just show how much you already mastered the relationships. This frame shows antonyms. I hope you are gaining more confidence about this matter already. Let us try it once more, shall we? You have to study the given analogies and identify the word or words that will best complete each item. The first one is dull and vibrant. These words are antonyms with each other. Let us look into the choices. Letter A, huge and gigantic. These two words are synonyms. Therefore, letter A is not the correct answer. Letter B, barking and dogs. Barking is a verb, unlike dull, which is adjective. Therefore, letter B is not the correct answer. Letter C, clarity and liquid. Clarity is an adjective like dull, but it is not antonyms with liquid. Therefore, letter C is not the correct answer. Letter D, bored and enthusiastic. Bored is the antonym of enthusiastic. Therefore, letter D is the correct answer. Second, rock and heavy. Heavy is an adjective or a describing word for the word rock. Let us look into the choices. Letter A, Car, fast. Fast is a possible adjective for the word car. Letter B. Feather, light. Light is a possible describing word for feather. Letter C. Large and giant. Large is an adjective and giant is a noun. Although they have the same relationship with rock and heavy, the order of the words do not fit each other. Therefore, letter C is not the correct answer. Letter D. Rich and poor. These two words are antonyms. Therefore, letter D is not the correct answer. Let us now go back to the two possible answers that we had earlier. If you have two possible correct answers, you have to narrow down the possibilities. In this case, heavy refers to a weight that describes a rock. Fast talks about speed, and light talks about weight. Now that we have already narrowed the possible relationships, we can now conclude that letter B is the correct answer. Number 3. Meowing, blank, blank, lion. This is an example of a mixed analogy. Let us look into the item. Meowing is a sound. Therefore, the blank before lions should contain a sound. Letter A cannot be the answer because cats is not a sound. Letter B cannot also be the right answer because babies is not a sound. Letter C, cub cannot be the right answer as well because cub is not a sound. Therefore, the answer for this one is letter D. Number 4. Ascending and descending, up and blank. Looking at ascending and descending, we can easily see that these two words are antonyms. Therefore, the blank should have an antonym or an opposite word for the word up. Letter A is not the correct answer because it is a synonym. Letter B is the correct answer because it is an antonym. Letter C is a word related to up. However, it is not an antonym. Letter D is a word not related to up. Again, the answer for this item is letter B. Lastly, fire, blank, kill, murder. In this case, we are going to look at the side of kill and murder. What do you think is the relationship between these two words? To kill is a violation that is sentenced with murder. Let us now find the sentence when a person purposely put something on fire. Letter A is the correct answer. Letter B is not the correct answer because libel is for false accusations. Letter C and letter D are for stealing. Again, the answer for this item is letter A. It is now your time to answer these. You will be given 10 seconds to answer each frame. If you think you need more time, feel free to pause the video. Let's check. The answer for number 1 is letter B. Eagle is a kind of bird, so we have to identify which of these things is a kind of snake. Number 2. Cold is the absence of heat. Therefore, commotion is the absence of tranquility. Number 3. Wet is antonyms with dry. Therefore, the correct answer is letter C. Dull is the antonym of spirited. Number 4. TOH is the government agency responsible for talks about health. Therefore, letter A, DA, is a government agency responsible for talks about agrarian reforms. Number 5. Blank adjudicator, basketball, blank. In here, we were given a judge of an activity and an activity. Since activity is placed first, we have to know the activity that an adjudicator judges. An adjudicator judges a debate. Therefore, the answer for number 5 is letter B. Number 6. Purple and lavender. Lavender is a flower that is colored purple. Letter A. Red and rose. This is a color and a flower. Letter B. Mint and soothing. This is a plant and an effect. Therefore, this is not the correct answer. Letter C. White and sampaguita. This is also a color-flower relationship like letter A. And letter D. Blue and azure. This is a color shade relationship. Since lavender can also be a shade, we go with letter D. We do not answer letter A or letter C because they have the same relationship. Number 7. Fe and iron. We have a symbol and element relationship. Therefore, letter A and B cannot be correct answer because they started with elements. Letter C cannot also be the correct answer because it started with an origin of a symbol. Therefore, letter D is the correct answer. Number 8. Close and clockwise. If you are going to close something, you are to turn it clockwise. What do you do when you turn something counterclockwise? Very good. It's letter A, open. Number 9. Knuckles and hand. Knuckles are part of your hand. Let us now look at part-whole relationship in the choices. Letter A is a whole-part relationship, therefore it is not the correct answer. Letter B is an organ-organ relationship. Letter C is a part-whole relationship. Duodenum is a part of the large intestine. Letter D, foot and shoes. This is a part-clothing relationship. Therefore, the correct answer for number 9 is letter C. Lastly, we have squid and ink. The squid uses ink for defense mechanism. What does a chameleon use for defense mechanism? The correct answer for this item is letter B, camouflage. It cannot be letter A and letter C because those two things are not defense mechanisms. Letter D cannot also be the correct answer because color blindness is a sickness. Congratulations! You made it. Give yourself a round of applause. I hope you learned a lot from this video lesson. Thank you for staying with me this far. Do not forget to drink some water and have some stretching after viewing this. I am sure you really worked hard. This is Daylight English Hustle, your partner in exploring the wonders of English. See you on my next video.